wanted to look forward to next year's recruiting class a little bit, D, and spotlight a prospect that you had a chance to see yesterday at the Battle 7-on-7 tournament. Highly, highly talented quarterback, currently committed to Oklahoma, Jaden O'Neal, 4-star from Harbor City, California. And you got to see his arm talent up close. This is a big quarterback, 6'3", 200 plus. And seeing a guy like this up close, you can really see how the ball spins off his hand. And I know you came away heavily impressed.
Yeah, 7-on-7 as a quarterback is not exactly the same as 11-on-11, to say the least. I mean, not only you're not getting hit, but just the type of quarterbacks that tend to succeed in 7-on-7. Size isn't as important. It's more about getting the ball out quick, kind of making quick decisions in a 7-on-7 context. Jaden O'Neal was very much a pro-style quarterback playing 7-on-7. Like you mentioned, Pete, I was at Battle Miami. Some of the top players in the country, 26 class, 27 class, even 28 class, were at this event. But Jaden O'Neal stood out from the moment he stepped on the field, playing with South Florida Express, one of the top 7-on-7 teams in the country, playing with a lot of South Florida talent. Of course, he is from Los Angeles and Narbonne High School. You see some of the huddle highlights here. Watching him at Battle, the arm strength stood out right away. He's throwing downfield here, but his ability to drive the ball, to throw through windows, outs, digs, throws that require you to drive the football as opposed to layering it and lofting it. He did a fantastic job. The size was eye-catching. You look at the frame. This is a guy with big hands. He's lanky, but he's big boned. So you could tell he's going to be a really, really big quarterback. He's got a big lower body. And again, we talked about the arm strength. Physically, he kind of reminded me of watching Jacoby Brissett at the same age. I was able to watch Jacoby Brissett in high school. I see a lot of physical similarities. Of course, Jacoby Brissett playing a lot of years in the NFL. Maybe O'Neal's a little bit shorter, but still a tall quarterback. O'Neal's a little bit more aggressive as a passer than Brissett at that age. Brissett at that age was very much by the book, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Wasn't as much of a gunslinger.
Hasn't changed much. That's the role he plays in the NFL.
Pretty much. And O'Neal's definitely more aggressive downfield, chucking it. We have some clips here.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up
from the Battle event. Number 6 quarterback on the 247 composite, going to Oklahoma, top player. And I think Coach Venables has his quarterback of the future. Of course, they brought in John Mateer. They brought in Arbuckle, the offensive coordinator from Washington State, to really ease that transition for Mateer. Is going to go from the same system, just moving it over to the SEC. So Mateer's got 2 years of eligibility. I think he probably needs both years just to fully adjust to that level of play and to polish himself as an NFL quarterback. But, that'll be basically O'Neal's senior year will be Mateer's, let's say, junior year. I believe he's a redshirt freshman, right? So he'd be a redshirt sophomore. Or was he a redshirt? Pete, check on Mateer's eligibility if you don't mind. But Mateer,
pretty sure he has 2 more years.
Yeah, I think Mateer's got 2 years of eligibility. Like, he's probably not going to take 2 more years if he's any good. So you're looking at O'Neal playing high school here in Narbonne as a senior, and then going to Oklahoma, sitting behind Mateer for a year. And
he was a true sophomore this year, so
okay. So he's got 2 more years.
Technically, if he could redshirt and take another year if he wanted, but yeah.
So again, O'Neal, the arm strength, you just see it. This is not normal for 7-on-7, that just to drive the ball like he was. He did it consistently. I think if you're looking at a negative of his game, and again, this is 7-on-7, so you're not breaking down in total detail. You're just kind of looking at big picture observations. He does tend to miss high, which is not unusual for these quarterbacks with huge arms, where they will miss high sometimes. Of course, do that in the games, that can lead to interceptions, particularly when you're throwing over the middle of the field. But I think the raw arm talent's there. I didn't think it was an uncontrolled arm. He does have touch. He does have ability to layer the football. I was very, very impressed. He looked like, if you're talking about a top 10 quarterback in the country competing at a 7-on-7 event with a lot of great players, he looked how you wanted to look. So if you're an Oklahoma fan saying, how did he look in Battle? He looked exactly how he should have looked, given his ranking, given his physical talent. But my big takeaway was, man, if this guy can, take care of his body, he is going to be one of the most physically imposing quarterbacks in the SEC, with one of the best arms in the SEC.
He's already, near and dear to Oklahoma fans' hearts. You see with the horns down there. He's not afraid to throw it up,
might get
throw
fined
it down
or something. Might get in trouble.
Yeah, you never know. Can't do it in games. He'll get penalized. So, But no, man, huge pickup for Oklahoma, and we'll see if they can hold on to him, man. Highly talented player, big season ahead for Brent Venables, and that Oklahoma program. So they gotta do something offensively, I would think, with Mateer this year to hold on to him.
Yeah, and he's out there in California. USC, they're involved with other quarterbacks, of course. Longstreet last year, one of the most, talk about arm talent, maybe the best arm talent in the 25 class. So they got young guys there. I mean, look, who knows what's going to happen with Lincoln Riley? His seat's getting a little hotter. So that whole West Coast is very interesting from a recruiting standpoint. Oklahoma takes advantage and grabs one of the most talented players in the Golden State.
Canes